Hi everyone, today we are talking about how to find surface area by adding areas of faces. As a reminder, you do not need to write down everything that we'll cover in this video, but be sure to jot down important information and at least one example of each type of problem that we'll cover. Also remember that you can pause the video to jot down important notes, rewind to view information again, and fast forward if you think you got it. Be careful, make sure you don't fast forward too much that you miss out on something important. So as a review, the surface area is the total outside area of the three-dimensional shape. You should use a net to help you calculate this by adding up all the areas of the 2D shapes. So you're multiplying to get the areas of each of the 2D shapes, and then you're adding them all up to get the final total surface area. So it's adding after multiplying. As a reminder, these are our most basic 3D shapes and their nets. So we have our rectangular prism, which is made up of 6 faces total, all rectangles with matching opposite sides. The triangular prism, since it's a prism, it has rectangles as the sides and then the triangles as the bases. A triangle has 3 sides, so it's going to have 3 rectangles. Just like how for a rectangle has 4 sides, so it's going to have 4 side faces. And then we have 2 pyramids. One is a square pyramid. The square pyramid has 4 sides of the square, so it's going to have 4 triangles. The triangle has 3 sides, so a triangular pyramid is going to have 3 triangles as the sides. Okay. Make sure that you have this in your notebook before we move on to some more review. We know that to find the surface area, we're going to need to add up the areas of all the 2D shapes that make up the net. So as a review, here are the area formulas for our most popular 2D shapes. Most of them are length times width, the multiplying of, how long and how wide your shape is, except for the square. All sides are the same, so it's just the side squared. And then the triangle, remember, is half the area of a rectangle. So it's going to be divided by 2 after it's multiplied. Okay, let's do some problems then. So the first lesson, it's going to kind of guide you a little. You're going to need to choose the best answer, best expression, okay? And so it's going to help you a little bit. You can kind of eliminate those that don't really make any sense. Go ahead and pause the video and try it on your own first. All right, so I, as always, want to draw out a net because I want to visualize this. And I'm going to show you how this is helpful. So I know this is a square pyramid, so it's going to have a square on my base, and then each of these sides of the square is going to have a triangle coming out of it so that they can all meet up later at the top here at the apex. Okay, but right now it's just what it looks like when it's unwrapped. I have a 6 here, and then this 5, they said, is the height. So notice this dotted line here. That's the height of a triangle. We know it's a square pyramid, so even though 6 doesn't look like it's giving us a lot of information, it's a square, so all of these are 6s as well. And that means all of these are 5s as well. Okay, so that's actually a lot of information. I know for the square pyramid, I'm going to have 1 square, and I'm going to have 4 triangles. So that's 4 plus 1, that's 5 things that are being added together at the end. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That could work. 1, 2, 3, 4. Ooh, that's missing something. So that one's probably out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That one could work as well. This is only adding 2 things. It might not work. So I'm going to focus on A and C because it's adding up 5 different pieces. I know I have 5 pieces to my net. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. I have my square, which is 6 by 6. My square is 6 by 6. 6 times 6 is 36. So that 36 in there is my square's area. So far, A and C both have 36 and only one of them. So that's good. But that doesn't eliminate anything. So let's keep going. And then I have a triangle with a bottom of 6, a base of 6, and a height of 5. Remember, a triangle's area is base times height divided by 2. My base is 6, my height is 5, and I divide by 2. 6 times 5 is 30. 30 divided by 2 is 15. So each of these triangles should be 15. That looks like C to me. A, try to think to yourself why A is wrong. What did they do wrong in A? Looks like for A, they had the 36, the square, but then they didn't divide each of those triangles by 2. Remember, a triangle is only half of a rectangle. So they just did base times height, which doesn't give you a triangle. So A was a trick there. If you just counted the amounts, well, didn't really get you that far, right? So that one should be C. So all these types of questions are just asking you which expression is the best, okay? Go ahead and pause this one and try it on your own first. All right, so this is a triangular prism because I see triangles on both bases and then I see rectangles on the sides. So let me just go ahead and draw just a basic triangular prism. Doesn't have to be perfect. Just sketching it out so I have an idea of what it looks like. And then I'm going to go ahead and add in some numbers. This is the height to that triangle. It's going to be the same on both sides because it needs to match. And then 5 is this right on the side here. So we know from a previous lesson that these two match up. So this one is also a 5 because this one's going to fold over and also be a 5. So that one's tricky there. This is also a 5. And then we have an 8. Okay, it looks like 8 is the last part to the triangle there. So these are both going to be 8. Okay, I have a lot of information now. So we know that it's made up of 2 triangles that are exactly the same, plus, I don't know, oh, I forgot another number, 11. There we go. These will all be 11 because they all match up. I don't think these rectangles are all the same. It looks like we have a 8 by 11 one. This middle one right here, there's 8 for the one dimension and 11 for the other. But it looks like these other two might be matching. 5 by 11, and this one's also 5 by 11. So it looks like 2 matching rectangles. 5 by 11. And then this one over here was 2 for the height and 8 for the bottom for that triangle. Okay, so now let's start eliminating things. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 total faces. So anything that doesn't have 5 total faces, I can eliminate. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that one's good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that one's good. This is only 2, you're out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, also in. Okay, we eliminated one of them. And then let's see if we can eliminate more. We have 2 triangles that are matching, 1 that's alone, and then 2 more rectangles that are matching. So we need 2 pairs that are the same. This one works, this one works, and this one. Okay, that didn't help us eliminate anything. Now it looks like we actually have to do some math. So let's see. A triangle is base times height divided by 2. And then there's 2 of them. So we're going to take that answer and multiply by another 2. So again, this is base times the height, 2 times 8, divided by 2. There's 2 of those, okay? And then this one is just base times height. And this is 2 of the 5 times 11s. Okay. So the good thing about this is a divide by 2 and a multiply by 2. So those are gone. Those cancel each other out. 2 times 8 is 16. Okay, because we divided by 2 and then we multiplied by 2. So we end up with just a 16. So that together those two triangles are 16. Separately, they would be 8 plus 8. So each of those triangles are 8. Okay. This is 8 times 11, which is 88. And then this is 5 times 11, which is 55. So each of these are 55. Okay. So we should have an 8 and an 8 for the triangles. Okay, that looks good so far. An 88 for the bigger rectangle, and two 55s for the smaller rectangles. Looks like that's good. Oh, see, they had a 16 there. That was 2 of those triangles together. So I separated them back up again. And then, I don't know what this 10 is. All right. So it could be a little complicated if you like put shapes together, you gotta put them back out again. Okay, so that's what surface area is by adding areas of faces. And then the surface area problems is just, you're just looking for an answer. Okay, so you're gonna do the same thing as these problems here, but you're just gonna actually add it up and get the answer. All right, so go ahead and pause the video, try this one on your own first. Okay, so we have a right triangular prism, meaning this makes a right angle. So I'm going to go ahead and try and draw that out. It's going to be 2 on opposite sides. Doesn't have to be perfect. All right, and then we're going to fill in the numbers. 1 is 3. It's right there. These got to match up. And then this part is 4. So that means this part is also 4, because those are going to fold up later. And then this last part of the triangle is 5, which means this part is also 5, because that's going to fold up and meet that later. Okay, and then this edge is 11. That's going to be 11s for all these, so that's fairly easy. So you have all those sides now. So the difference with this problem is you're going to have to come up with your own expression here, which is fine. We've been doing that the whole time anyways. What I like to do is I like to write out what my shapes are. So it's going to give me a little key as to what my expression is going to look like. So again, I have 2 of these triangles. And if you like to keep them separate, you can always put one triangle plus another triangle. Just make sure you know those 2 are the same. And then you have, it looks like we have 3 different rectangles. And I'll show you why they're different later. Now I like to put my dimensions here. So my triangle is 3 by 4, because that's the base and the height. But remember, base and height make that L shape, that right triangle. So that right angle. So it's not going to be the 5. The 5 is slanted. So you got to be careful on this one. We have a 3 and a 4, and both of them are the same, so another 3 and a 4. Again, you can combine those or you can keep them separate, whatever. So my first rectangle is a 5 by 11. My second one, this inside one, is 3 by 11. And then my last one is a 4 by 11. I knew they were all going to be different rectangle sizes because all 3 of these sides of the triangle are different. So they're going to create slightly different sizes. But they're all going to have that 11. Okay. And remember, it's base times height divided by 2. So 3 times 4 divided by 2, plus another 3 times 4 divided by 2, because those are triangles. And these are just straight up multiplications. So hopefully you set it up this way as well. I'm putting parentheses around there to know that these should be done first before we add additions at the end. Okay. 3 times 4 is 12. 12 divided by 2 is 6. So this is 2 6s. This is a 55, this is a 33, and this is a 44. So this is what the previous lesson wanted you to get. And literally for this lesson, you're just going to add them together and get your answer. 6 plus 6 plus 55 plus 33 plus 44. I got 144. And it's going to be units squared. Just to be safe, I'm going to add that all in. Do my calculator again, just to be sure, because I don't want to do all that work for nothing. 144 units squared. And then I just want to double check I didn't do anything wrong, because that would be a shame. And there you go. Okay. It's a lot of work. Not going to lie about that. But once you draw out your net and you come up with your game plan, all you got to do is just follow your game plan. Let me know if you have any questions as you work on these, and I'll be seeing you in class.